Namaste. Welcome to Youth TV Show. Our guest for today's episode of Global Perspectives is Dr. Nawal Paswan. He is the head of Department of Peace and Conflict and Management Studies at the Sikkim University, Gangtok. Welcome to the show, Doctor. In today's episode, since we will be talking a lot about peace and conflict, I would like to know what is your definition of peace and how would you define conflict?
Peace and conflict, we have to see from the perspective of unmet desire. Now, what is unmet desire? We as a human being has a lot of desire, lot of requirements, lot of needs, but how many needs, how many desire will be fulfilled to us? If we are unable to fulfill all those desire and need, then it is easy for us to say that these are the met desire. But unmet desire brings conflict, brings violent attitude towards a human being. So what I would suggest is that let us not to be greedy. It is endless process. What is requirement we have to understand. We have to remember next 25 years, 50 years down the line also. Peace is a state of mind, process to feel that our requirements and desire is fulfilled, but the moment your desire and need is not fulfilled, then it transforms into conflict. This is the way you can realize the peace and conflict.
You just talked about we should not be greedy. As humans, we experience different emotions. Some are positive emotions while some are not so positive emotions. Greed is one of those emotions. As humans, it is very natural to experience these emotions. So to what extent do you think these emotions can be controlled or regulated? And how?
Becoming greedy is not a crime. We are greedy by birth. We carry emotions since the day we born. Sometimes it is hidden and most of the time it is open. So greedy and emotions, it is up to individuals to control to what extent you want greedy, to what extent your emotions you will remain in the same status. You cannot retain emotions 24 hours with us. 24-hour emotion is not good. I am emotions towards my family. I am emotions towards my country. You can see anywhere in the world that during the COVID-19 pandemic period, first we have to take care of ourselves, then we will take care of others.
Emotional intelligence is necessary.
Necessary. We have to measure our emotions through a lens where you feel that it is positive emotions or it is negative emotions.
Absolutely. Since we're talking about conflict, what are the types of conflict?
There are several types of conflict, but primarily we divide into two categories. One is external and second is internal. External conflict is basically a type of conflict which is influenced by either neighboring country or outside the country, and second is internal conflict, which is people to people conflict, that is a state versus non-state actor. Here it is people to people conflict, and people to people conflict is more dangerous than external conflict in South Asia. We are having problem with our own people than from outside.
Yes, exactly. So you mentioned that internal conflict is more dangerous.
It has 3 times higher impact on the society or on the economy.
Definitely. Nepal has had a decade-long history of the bloody civil war, which is internal conflict. It is also suffering from people-to-people conflict in terms of caste, ethnicity, race, gender, yes.
Gender, everything.
On a lot of bases, the basis that was once for easy understanding, easy division, categorization of people has now become a basis for suppression and dominance. What do you think is the way forward?
When a country is suffering from internal conflict, that is people to people conflict, then what we can do? We should rely less on the government's efforts. We have to work individually as well as collectively to resolve those people-to-people conflict. Government cannot come 24/7 hours to resolve the conflict. What we do is we exclusively depend on the government interventions. Let us change that attitude, do something at the individual level, at the community level, at the societal level, or at the regional level. Why we depend on government? Government is an agency who enforce the law and order, who deployed so many other security personnel to take care, look after. But what is the number of Nepali people on which one constable is deployed? It is very, very less. The security or police officials numbers is very, very less in all the South Asian countries. How you are expecting that one policeman will control 20,000 populations?
But is that expectation not normal? If you are a person who has elected a representative and you take them to the forefront mainstream of the country, believing that they are going to solve your problem, is it not natural to expect from them that they will fulfill your desires?
No, there are 2 or 3 layers of the governance prevailing in the country. One is central, second is state, and third is Gram Panchayat level. That you call it, what you call it? Nagar Palika or Nagar Nigam level. So these are the coordinations to regulate the governments or people. If you blame Gram Panchayat or Nagar Palika that you are unable to resolve my conflict because you are my elected leader, if those people start to say something to the state authority, district authority, so blame game time is over. We have experience of so many decades of the blame game. This is the time to come into action mode.
Absolutely.
If I can contribute something good for my community, my society, my people of country, I am ready to do that. So what is more important as a youth, a person like you, is that let us make awareness about the role and responsibility of common man of the country. Nobody has taught anything about my role and responsibility as a common man. I know only my responsibility as a teacher to teach. But nobody has taught me till date that what is my duty and responsibility towards nation. It is clearly mentioned in the Indian Constitution. What about Nepalese Constitution? Do you have any duties and responsibility
Yes.
as a common man of this country
Yes.
or not? Because tomorrow somebody can challenge you. On what basis you are doing this job? If somebody can challenge you, then you do not have any answer. So what is more important is that let us work at the grassroots level, coordinate with the elected representative as well as security personnels. We can resolve that conflict at to that level immediately. But if something happens and we keep waiting that these people will come to file FIR, that people will be coming to do FIR, some NGO will come and pressurize the authority to file lodge FIR, then where we are going? We are not doing the job for our society. This is the job of not only individual, but it is job of the each and every persons whosoever are available in there. We are unable to understand the cost and value of human life. Nobody has taught us what is my cost as a human being, what is the cost of my life as a human being.
We can see that in India and in Nepal, there are lots of cases of poverty. So in a country where people are not getting their basic needs, how can we expect them to cooperate with the government or with concerned authorities and institutions to guarantee a peaceful country?
You know, poverty and peace, it is a contradicting word. If a country is poor, it is difficult for them to bring development. If country is peaceful, it is easy for us to bring development. Because most of the time, developmental process hijacked by the group of individual, group of community who keeps preventing not to do this, not to do that. So poverty and peace, or what you call poverty and conflict, most of the time poverty leads conflict, and this is what Nepal is experiencing. Poverty leads conflict. If you do not have anything to do, what will you be doing 24 hours? No, people has to spend time. If you are not spending time in a positive attitude or in a positive atmosphere or in a positive activity, then negativity will start to come inside the mind. And how long it will survive? And once your mind set in a negative attitude, then you will keep fighting yourself, not for others. You will keep fighting yourself. How I will spend my time tomorrow? How I will spend my time tomorrow? And if somebody comes and instigate you to do this, that, you will easily trapped. We are human beings and we can trapped by any individuals because we are poor. We do not have sufficient resources to manage our day-to-day life. We do not have work because unemployment rate is also very high. Education is also very costly. Health infrastructure is also very poor. So what government is supposed to do is that the budget has to be allocated for education, health service, infrastructure on the basis of need of the people. A particular area requires infrastructure development, give priority to them. If a particular area doesn't have any hospital, health infrastructure, give them enough health infrastructures. If there are certain areas which doesn't have any school, I have seen my life. So excuse can be tolerated up to certain extent, not permanent. Once your tolerance level is collapsed, then naturally conflict will surface.
Do you think economy is a cause of conflict? Because we talked about how poverty leads to conflict and conflict leads to poverty, and it is an ongoing circle. You told us that government can give a way out of this circle. You talked about our duties as a citizen to cooperate with the government to come out of this cycle.
You know, what I have seen in the South Asian country is that conflict is also preventing development. Since South Asian countries are under developing, few countries are under low economy and few are them under low medium economy. But keeping them separately, let us understand why we are underdeveloped or developing and how many decades we will take to become a developed country. What preventing us to become a developing country?
Conflict is universal.
Yes.
Can there ever be a world where there is zero conflict? Is that even possible?
That is not possible.
So, if a zero conflict world is not possible, does that mean we will never be able to achieve 100% world peace? Is that what it means?
No, both are not correct. Both are not correct because it is a conflict and peace is a coin of both sides. What is more important is to contain the peace, containment of the peace. If today you are in a state of peace, who will give you guarantee that tomorrow you will be not in the conflict?
No.
Today I am in a conflict zone. Who will give me guarantee that after 50 years you will be not in the conflict? So conflict and peace is a process where if you resolve the conflict, some other conflict will come. It is not one time game.
It is an ongoing process.
It is an ongoing process, and also I feel that it is necessary for developmental process. It is necessary for developmental process because the moment you will feel that, oh, this demand is fulfilled, the next demand will automatically come, and it creates a pressure on the civil society, on the government to think and work. If there is no any, I am only talking about positive conflict, not the negative conflict. Conflict is necessary for developmental process because we are working in a such way that each one of us are contributing individually as well as collectively to make the nation vibrant, to make the developmental process carry on forward. We are not against any institutions. They are always working for the nation building. And nation building is, what is nation building? It is a continuous process of development.
So since conflict is continuous, change is also continuous. So my last question to you would be, to wrap all this up, do you think there is conflict because there are lack of good people, or do you think there is conflict because those people who are good and are existent in the community, they choose to stay silent?
It depends upon the nature of issues, sensitivity of the issues, and coverage of the issues. Then it is easy for us to resolve. It is easy for us to resolve. Problem, who creates the problem? Problem created by an individual. Then who will solve the problem? Problem can be solved by the individuals. So it's a matter of time only. Today you can create a problem, tomorrow you can resolve it. Let us move towards the peaceful South Asia region. We wanted to see a conflict-free zone South Asia, which is not possible in next few decades. Conflict will be remain the same but at the lower level. It will not damaging the society, community or anything.
It is going to be minimized.
Yes, minimized, localized. It is not nationalized. Conflict is localized. These small leaders can handle those problems. But if it is nationalized, then national level has to be managed.
So we have to mobilize the people at the local level.
Local level. Now, 21st century is devoted to do some capacity building program for local people. No, national people have already got exposure. Do it something for the local leaders who are the grassroots worker. They are the person who will resolve your 50% differences of opinion and minimize the level of conflict.
It is because they know the context.
They know the entire family of the village. They are in constant touch with them. They will listen their voice than your voice.
Yes.
They respect these leaders because they are the elected by them only.
This is the participatory approach.
Yes, participatory approach. This is the best way to manage the day-to-day affairs in the grassroots level. A peaceful, what I would say that peaceful South Asia region, not only South Asia region.
It was wonderful having you here.
Thank you so much.